and see why the only likes we care about are our clients loving our service. Ask us about our prepay with TJ option and how it can save you thousands. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, office number 615-432-2919.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
The spring menu is here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel, featuring their signature cast iron pie with herb roasted chicken, English peas, carrots, potato, simple greens, and a toasted biscuit crumble topping. Or garden succotash with snap peas, black-eyed peas, roasted peppers, sweet corn, tomato, and caramelized onion. Or try the steak fritas with pan-seared ribeye. Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel, open daily till 2 with brunch Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 7 till 2.
This is Pretection. Yep, Pretection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist-recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series at First Horizon Park tonight against Norfolk.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6:20.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball, 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Taking you through your mid-morning.
Love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This is Chase and Michelle.
Where'd you find those crazy characters?
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
That goes out to Engineer David because he is simply the best. Restoring our internet. That means the streams are back. Hi. You can see me now. Everything is great. So our great engineering team getting it done. Ted, Holly, appreciate it. So you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live every day. And our video streaming brought to you by Superbook Sports. Download their app today. Use my promo code CHASE when you sign up for that. Appreciate Terry McCormick for joining us. I believe, I may be a little too soon in saying this, but I believe Predators general manager Barry Trotz going to join us tomorrow pre-draft. So incoming general manager Barry Trotz will join us. So we'll keep you updated on that. But right now with the Titans and specifically the AFC South, is Jacksonville really the team to beat in the AFC South? Now, I believe that roster got better. I think that Trevor Lawrence, another year under Doug Peterson, his third year in the league, will get better. So I think that team, you can view that team and say they are improved. But, you know, the narrative that, they won the AFC South last year, they're the team to beat. They didn't win the AFC South. The Titans lost the AFC South. The Titans lost 7 in a row, had a beat-up roster, squandered some things at times, and that's what happened. They lost. That's ultimately where it went. And Jacksonville was able to win and to get it done. And then you look the next week against the Chargers, and Trevor Lawrence throws 4 interceptions, and they have to come back and somehow miraculously win the game. I wouldn't call that winning. That's how it all shook out, and sometimes that happens. But the question is Jacksonville really the team to beat this year in the AFC South? Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports, was on with Robbie and Rexroad earlier today and gave his thoughts on the Jags.
How big of a gap do you think there is right now between the Jags and the Titans?
It's a good question because, look, the reason why I think a lot of people, aside from the fact that Jackson won the division last season, you look at the roster, it's improved. They're spending every single offseason improving it. I think, though, a big part of this really is just the thought process that you're going to see Trevor Lawrence continue to take these big steps forward. Remember, we came into last year and we were like, what's going to happen with this guy? Is this a miss? Like, did the Urban Meyer experience break him and he's never going to be the player we thought he was? And then down the stretch, he turned into the Trevor Lawrence that, was the number one pick and the generational player out of Clemson. So I think a lot of people, it's very sexy to go, okay, well, Trevor's going to take that next big step. That's going to be a team that, kind of fixes it or clicks it all into place. The one thing I look at, though, with particularly Trevor and that offense, the wide receiver group there that he's working with, Christian Kirk, he definitely offered more than I thought he could last season. I was surprised. I mean, I got so fixated on the money, I was like, he can never live up to it. But he was a good, solid addition for them. I think for them to take this big step forward where they're just a hammerlock, for the division.
That was Charles Robinson earlier this morning. Yahoo Sports joins Robbie and Rexroad every Thursday at 8 o'clock on the gap between the Titans and the Jags. Now, a couple texters on the text line. Jags are a solid 10-11 win team, but they are not unbeatable. They are not the Bills, Bengals, or Chiefs. They got no O-line and their defense is mediocre. If the Titans pass rush can get to Lawrence and offense score 21 to 24 points, the Titans can win the division, but they can't be making dumb mistakes and got to stay healthy. I think that's spot on. Don't do dumb bleep to hurt the team, and then stay healthy. I mean, Michelle and I joke all the time, we're going to put it on a T-shirt with Chase and Michelle of, well, if he can stay healthy. I mean, that really is the narrative with the Tennessee Titans right now, that if they can stay healthy, and a guy that the Titans plucked away from the Jags, Arden Key, I think Arden Key is going to be a dude for them. I really do. I love that signing. I think he's got fire. He's got that tenacity, that fortitude, however, whatever you want to call it. He's got it. And adding that to that group, and oh, by the way, Harold Landry coming back, I think, again, if they can stay healthy, that pass rush is going to be legit for the Titans. So I agree with the texter on that. Matthew from Jolton says, I'm not convinced by Jacksonville. It took them a long run of wins and a Titans 7-game losing streak to win the division. Again, spot on. It's kind of how I felt about it. That I didn't view it as the Jags winning the division. I viewed it as the Titans lost the division. And I feel like that Matthew from Jolton kind of feels the same way. 615-737-1025, our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. How big of a gap do you think there is between the Titans and the Jags for the top of the division right now? Because I think we agree the Colts and Houston, they're kind of in another tier. Crazier things can happen, but curious of your thoughts. Caroline Fenton going to join us in studio for the rest of the way as well. We'll get her thoughts on this. Next, Chase and Michelle, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
One is a legendary NFL wide receiver.
I gotta be prepared. I have to be ready.
One is a legendary Nashville voice.
You don't have to rely on carrying the ball 250 to 300 times.
And the other has been a legendary trash talker on the playground since the 4th grade.
Nobody is a Pro Bowler on day one of rookie minicamp.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All right, let's talk a little Superbook Sports, because Superbook Sports is my go-to, as you know, and you can use my promo code CHASE when you sign up, because you want to make your bets stay hot this summer at Superbook Sports, the most trusted name in gambling, with a direct line to Vegas. Again, use that promo code CHASE, C-H-A-S-E, my name. You can score up to $250 with their first bet bonus. Win or lose, Superbook will match your first bet up to that $250 with that promo code CHASE. You can download the app and put it in there. You can go to superbook.com. It's easy. Just put CHASE when you sign up when it asks for a promo code to get that $250 courtesy of Superbook Sports. There is a full slate of baseball games on the Superbook Sports app today, so download that app, including a 12:05 first pitch, my Atlanta Braves plus 105 against the Philadelphia Phillies, -122. You can get it right there on the Superbook Sports app. Download that app today. Use the promo code CHASE. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
This year, come out for a little outdoor fun at Land Between the Lakes, only an hour and a half northwest of Nashville. They have over 170,000 acres of forest and wetlands on a peninsula in western Kentucky and Tennessee. Hiking, camping, fishing, kayaking, canoeing, outdoor learning, you name it. Land Between the Lakes is where you want to be.
Get up close and personal with wildlife at the Woodlands Nature Station. Take a scenic drive through the elk and bison prairie. Visit the 1850s Home Place Working Farm and see what life was like over 170 years ago.
Plan your adventure at landbetweenthelakes.us.
Because we work so hard for our customers, people are driving for hours to shop at Genesis Diamonds right now, taking advantage of the lowest interest rate on the planet. 0 interest for 5 years with nothing down. How about a $6,000 GIA certified diamond for just $100 a month? Pear shapes, rounds, even oval diamonds are all included. You can even finance the sales tax. All designer jewelry and all lab-grown diamonds included. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Exclusively at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Approved credit, see store for details.
It's happening. Social Furniture's Hot Buy sale is going on now. You'll find your dream furniture on sale now for our best prices of the year. Sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom sets, mattresses, dinettes, and more are all on sale. Social Furniture has one of the largest selections of in-stock furniture in Middle Tennessee, ready for delivery today. Buy now and pay later, interest-free. No credit needed. Find Hot Buys in every department. Hurry into Social Furniture today. Social Furniture, 5412 Charlotte Avenue on the west side.
Catch all the NASCAR action this weekend on 102.5 The Game, Nashville's racing station, brought to you by Richmar Florists. Catch the action Friday with the NASCAR Truck Series, then Saturday the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the Ally 400 Cup Series Sunday. Richmar Florists, Pennsylvania built, Tennessee strong.
Want to weigh in on the conversation? It's a brain booster. Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I got some good news.
Taking you through your mid-morning, this is Chase and Michelle on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Chase and Michelle, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Actually, now it's Chase and Caroline. Caroline Fenton.
I'm taking over.
You are taking over.
You've been nice enough.
Michelle. She'll be back Monday for her farewell tour, but she'll be back Monday. But you've been nice enough to come in for the last 30 minutes because I figured I'd just give you some extra work. You know, we could talk. We don't get to do this a lot.
And it's fun. Whenever we get the opportunity, I'm more than happy to hop on. Happy to be here. And now that we have internet. So
yeah, no, it's nice. So shout out to our entire engineering crew for getting that done because it's been a crazy, I guess, little less than 12 hours, maybe 10 hours through storms and whatever's been going on. But we got everything going, and I am glad everything is rocking and rolling now. But asking this question, and people are weighing in on our text line. We'll get to some calls in a second. How big of a gap do you really think there is between the Titans and Jacksonville atop of the AFC South?
Well, this is a conversation that we had on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. And sometimes there are conversations that I have with Willie and Derek, and I think, like, what like, am I on a different planet? Like, are you serious?
I know that feeling.
Like, when Derek says that Chris Moore is going to be better for the Titans offense than DeAndre Hopkins would, I'm like, wait, are we living on the same planet? Like, are we, like, what in the world? And this is a conversation that we had, and I think that Derek and Willie believe that there are leaps and bounds differences between the Titans and the Jags, mostly because of the quarterback position, that they view this ceiling for Trevor Lawrence to be so incredibly high, and I would probably agree. Like, I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, but I'll believe it when I see it. With Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he has struggled the past couple of years, and I know that it's the Urban Meyer effect, and I know that your first year in a new offense under Doug Peterson, there's going to be growing pains. But I really don't think that the gap between these two teams is really that astronomical.
I don't either.
I mean, we were talking about it on Jared versus Joe last night. I asked a very similar question, just how much better are the Jags than the Titans? And Joe Rexrode said, and I view the Jags as maybe a 9-8 team. think the Titans could be like an 8-9 team. And I think that that's really accurate. I don't think that the gap is that huge. I'll go back to that final game of the season, which Derek says I'm not allowed to, apparently, because if something's the past, then we can't talk about it, and apparently means nothing. But that game was close. It came down to the wire. It came down to a really bad Josh Dobbs fumble call for the Jags to win the division. It took the Titans to have a 7-game losing streak, for their offensive coordinator to get a DUI, for the general manager to get fired, and the starting quarterback to get injured, for the Jags to win the division. So now all of a sudden, all of that happened. The Jags win the division. They win a playoff game in which Trevor Lawrence throws 4 interceptions. Now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that the Jags are going to be a top 5 team in the NFL. I don't. They might, but no, I have no reason to believe that.
Because, again, I'm a broken record here, but I believe that the Jags didn't win the division. The Titans lost the division. And there's a big difference in that. And then I think sometimes people go, well, yeah, they won a playoff game. Did you see the first half of the playoff game? Can we can't just ignore that.
The way we talk about Trevor Lawrence versus Ryan Tannehill is very, very different, and I don't think that it is fair. Ryan Tannehill's biggest smudge on his resume is that Bengals game. He threw 3 interceptions. He threw the game away. It was on him. Well, Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions in a single half against the Chargers. If the Jags would have lost that game, the conversation surrounding Trevor Lawrence would be very, very different, and we might be talking about Trevor Lawrence the exact same way that we talk about Ryan Tannehill in that 3-interception game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe the same way that you say the Titans lost the division, the Jags didn't win it. I believe the same way that happened with the Chargers-Jags game. I think the Chargers lost that game. The Jags didn't win it. Brandon Staley just simply kissed that game away. It was a poorly managed game by Brandon Staley. And credit to Trevor Lawrence. He did what he needed to do to be able to come back in that game. He threw 4 touchdown passes. Also threw 4 interceptions. Right. I don't know how many times in the history of football has a quarterback thrown 4 interceptions and that team wins.
It was an amazing stat. By the way, the text line is still mad at Derek for saying if you never played in the NFL, you don't know football.
So that's not what he said. I'll have to give Derek some credit. He was basically saying, like, I've been in the league before, and I know how it feels to have people say that you suck and you're terrible and you're trash, and you're not if you're playing at that level. So, yeah, D-Mace is not saying, you can't have an opinion on the NFL if you didn't play in the NFL. I just think that there was a texter texted in about the wide receiver core. This Titans team called him trash. And D-Mace didn't like that very much.
Yeah, I defended D-Mace this morning too because I said I'm not going to go trash. I'm just going to go. They got a ton of question marks.
One of the worst in the NFL, I think, is fair. Where it stands right now, maybe Treylon Burks absolutely blossoms and is a top 10 receiver in the NFL. We'll look at it very differently. But where it stands right now, it's one of the worst in the NFL.
Treylon Burks is the number one question mark of, okay, can he take a huge step year 1 to year 2? To me, and I'm curious if you agree with this or not, Kyle Phillips would be number 2.
Yeah, I would say the needs of this team, they're going to need Kyle Phillips to step up. They're going to need him to play a larger role. I think they're also going to need him to play a larger special teams role.
Yeah.
You're going to have to catch punts.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
And actually catch them.
Catch them.
Not muff them.
Exactly. We're going to need to not muff punts. We're going to need to have, special teams that's just a little bit better than it was this past season. I might go a little bit different, and I'll say Chig Okonkwo. Just the way that I think Ryan Tannehill thrives. I think that in short yardage situations and dink and dunk kind of offense is where Ryan Tannehill, and really this offense as a whole, thrives. You don't want Ryan Tannehill to lob the ball 27 yards downfield. Like, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That's not how this offense thrives. I think over Kyle Phillips, I'll say Chig Okonkwo taking a step forward. And that's no disrespect to what Chig did this past season. And let's see what more he can do.
I put Chig in that too. I'm just true wide receivers was kind of what I was saying. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're going ranking of importance of pass catchers on this team, it's Treylon Burks and Chig Okonkwo. I mean, I think it's 1-2. But strictly receivers, I think Phillips has to do something. Because – and I say that because I'm pretty sure I know what Westbrook-Akina is at this point. I mean, he's a role player.
He's a 3 at best.
Yeah, but he's a role player, and that's fine. You need those guys. That's what he is. Racey McMath, if he makes the team, I think I know what he is. Chris Moore, I think I know what he is.
Don't tell Derek that. Because Derek thinks that Chris Moore can be an 800-yard receiver this year. I think that Chris Moore, he is
based on what?
I don't know. Don't you ask him that. Chris Moore, he is what he is. He's going to be a role player. Nick Westbrook-Akine the same way. He's going to be a role player. Racey McMath, I feel like Mike Vrabel already told us, he's a special teams guy. Mike Vrabel even said, let's start with special teams. Let's start there, and then we can start talking about being a legitimate threat in the pass-catching game. I think just first and foremost, above all else, the number one focal point and the most important thing for this offense is, can Treylon Burks take steps forward? I can't
100%.
overstate the importance of Treylon Burks getting better and taking that step to being a certified number one receiver.
615-737-1025. Brent wants to weigh in on the Titans. Brent, thanks for holding. What's up?
Yeah, well, I think the difference between the Jags and the Titans, I agree with you guys. I think it's very, very close. You might have to give the Jags the nod just because, like it or not, they are sitting on top as we speak, so somebody's got to knock them off. Now, I think this team, I know this sounds like a broken record, but we desperately need to get this deal done with Hopkins if it's even possible. Or, if not D-Hop, somebody like him. Otherwise, we're going to be kind of like we were last year, 8 men in the box, beating up Henry, and it's just going to be kind of like the same old Titans. Now, I say that knowing full well that for the last 2 years we've had the worst offensive coordinator in the league, in my opinion.
No doubt.
So maybe the new coordinator can use what we've got and can open the game up. Because that's a big question too, guys. On is this guy going to be that much better than Todd Downing? And God, if he's not, then we really are in trouble. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think the Titans are a lot better team than people are giving us credit for.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Brent. And I agree. Especially if you add Hopkins. Right now on Superbook, Titans are plus 425 to win the division. The Jags are minus 175. The Colts are only plus 550.
Plus 425?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I would
hop on that. That's
yeah.
Crazy return. There's another element between the Titans and the Jags that I don't think that we talk about enough, and that's the difference of the schedule.
Yeah, 100%.
Like when the Jags play the Bills, you play the Dolphins. And
right.
I know the Dolphins are a solid team, but if my options are Bills or Dolphins, I'll take the Dolphins all day long. When the Jags play the 49ers, you play the Seahawks. When the Jags play the Chiefs, you play the Chargers. And those teams that the Titans play aren't any slight. Like, that's not an easy schedule. Those aren't automatic wins. Those aren't easy games. But still, with that being said, the Jags have to go through a gauntlet, and yours is just a little bit easier of a path.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are a couple things on this schedule that concern me a little bit, and I'll throw those at you coming up next. Chase McCabe, Caroline Fenton hanging out today. Chase and Michelle, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The offseason is in full swing, but there's no slowing down ESPN's Teron Davenport.
The flow of information.
He talks the talk.
Spears gives you that guy that can still hit the home run.
And walks the walk.
As a run blocker, he's going to murder a linebacker at the second level.
On everything Titans. TD is on Mondays at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast. TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Warmer months have you working overtime? Be sure to visit Parman Tractor and Equipment for all your New Holland tractor and bush hog needs. Swing by our store at 3570 Dickerson Pike in North Nashville or give our sales team a call. We're now offering 0% financing for 72 months on select New Holland tractors. Get the brands you trust from a local dealer like Parman, always ensuring totally outrageous customer service. Visit ParmanTractor.com for the best deals on equipment, New Holland tractor, bush hog, and more.
3 days of racing, 3 days of music, one huge weekend event. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is not just a race or a festival, it's an experience. Multiple music stations with Flo Rida, Vince Neil, Chris Jansen, Gavin DeGraw, and more. Fast cars going over 200 miles an hour. And a family fun zone with inflatables, Ferris wheels, kids games, and kid-friendly food trucks. Tickets and premium hospitality are on sale now. Go to MusicCityGP.com for tickets and get ready to experience Nashville's premier speed and sound event.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormonal deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve your quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
What is that?
My mortgage rate detector. I made it out of an old altimeter alarm. With Navy Federal Credit Union's no refi rate drop option, we could get a lower rate without refinancing our mortgage. So I'm keeping a close eye on mortgage rates. They're dropping. Call Navy Federal.
Buy a home, and if rates drop, you could lower your rate and save thousands. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. We are good to go. Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're listening to Chase and Michelle on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Chase McCabe, Caroline Fenton with you. Of course, she will have Caroline Willie and D. Mace coming up at the top of the hour. What's on tap?
So we were just talking. We had a caller call in about the worst offensive coordinator in the league. We're going to be discussing some analytics. It's Willie's, Willie's forte. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of the numbers of things. Just kind of shows exactly how bad it really was, if that changes our perception at all of this team going into the season, and a whole bunch of betting talk. Because the NFL had a meeting with the media on Tuesday afternoon. It was kind of highlighted what's been going on, why is it such a problem, clarifying how they're moving forward with the gambling policies in the league. So I have some thoughts on that. So we'll get into that today as well.
Yeah, okay. I like that. We'll be tuning in coming up at 11 for Caroline, Willie, and D. Mace. But discussing right now the gap with the Titans and the Jags. And you brought up the schedule. Mm-hmm. The only thing that concerns me a little bit with the schedule is this year the draw in the division for them is the AFC North. Mm-hmm. And I think the AFC North is one of those that, okay, Bengals are up top, sure, but I don't know what the Browns are.
I don't know what the Steelers are.
I don't know what the Ravens are. I don't know what the Steelers are. I think the Ravens will probably challenge for the division with the Bengals, but the Browns and the Steelers are huge questions for me, and you got to play there.
Yeah.
Which are tough places to play. I mean, historically, the Titans have not played well in Pittsburgh.
And it's later in the season, correct?
Yeah, it's a Thursday night game.
In November?
Yeah, November 2nd. So early November.
It's going to be cold in Pittsburgh in early November, though. So that is, an aspect there. We know Ryan Smallhands-Hill doesn't play great in the cold. But I think the other side of that is two things on that. Not only do you have to play the AFC North, but so do the Jags. And then the other side of that is you're not just playing the AFC North, you're also playing the NFC South.
Yep.
Which might be the worst division in football. If it's not your division, it's the NFC South. So I think those are a couple of gimmies there as well. But also questions about the NFC South. I don't know what the Saints are going to be. I think they might be better than they were last year.
I mean, I think that division is
a quarterback.
That division's wide open.
If I had to put money on it today, I would probably say the Saints win that division, but I think that you can win 8 games and win that division.
Probably.
Same way with last year with the NFC South.
I think the Falcons could be the one that could go either way.
What does Baker look like in Tampa?
Yeah.
I have no idea. No idea what that looks like.
I forgot about that.
I know. It's just a weird situation with Baker and Tampa, and I don't know if Tampa is going to be #tanking for Caleb Williams next season. There are plenty of teams in that division that I think could be looking ahead to their quarterback of the future.
Yeah,
Except the Panthers. I think they're pretty set.
Yeah, no, they know what they're going to do. So I think that's intriguing. But the North, the AFC North is certainly – I mean, that Baltimore game in London is – I think by then, that's week 6. That's when you're going to have an idea of where this is going to go. Either way.
And that's what I don't know at what point or if at all is there a cutoff point of evaluation before the trade deadline. Are they looking at this season like we're going to try and win as many games as possible until a certain point? And I don't think so. I really don't. But that London game will be interesting just because of when it's played, week 6, and also the opponent that you're playing in Baltimore. I think that's a winnable game. I think there are several winnable games on this schedule that I view as winnable that maybe national media might not view as winnable, because I don't think that the national media is giving the Titans any sort of credit, because I think that they're all looking at the 7-game losing streak and the 7-10 overall record and not necessarily looking at how the team improved in the offseason and also why that 7-game losing streak happened.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's just a lot of toss-up games. Right now, at least as it appears. I mean, they opened the season at New Orleans. I think on paper, I would lean the Titans. The sportsbooks have New Orleans as a 3.5-point favorite.
It's a tough place to play.
It's a tough place to play.
Advantage given to you by Vegas.
And Derek Carr is going to be like fired up. I have to prove myself in one game.
Yeah.
Which could be to the advantage of the Titans, that he's going to be a little too uptight in that. But so that right there is, like you said, it's a tough place to play. But that right there is the first toss-up game to start things off.
And I think that's when you're going to start getting a whole lot of your questions answered. Because I think that we all think that the offensive line is improved, but I don't know. You can think that, if you don't have Dennis Daly on the offensive line, then you can only go up from there. But I don't know what Andre Dillard is going to look like if, in fact, he is playing left tackle. I don't know how much of an upgrade he is. Let's not forget, he's a career backup in the league. I do think that Tim Kelly is going to be a better offensive coordinator than Todd Downing, because I don't know how much you could get worse, honestly. But I don't know. I mean, he called a better offense in Houston. But even with Deshaun Watson, Houston was kind of middle of the road in terms of NFL offenses. So I don't know how much better he's going to be. Those are all questions. Treylon Burks.
Yep.
What does he look like in year 2? Kyle Phillips. What does he look like in year 2 when he is healthy? Derrick Henry. I have no reason to believe that he does take a step back.
Haven't even talked about him yet.
But yeah, those are all answers that we're not going to get until we see them actually play a game. And you'll start to get those answers in the first couple of weeks. We're not going to answer all of them week 1 against New Orleans, but I think you're going to start to get a little bit more of a peek behind the curtain.
Ricky just texted me and said, take the over in week 1, 41.5. So he's already betting over-unders. I love it.
I need to take a breather before I start looking at over-unders a little bit. But
that seems
it's an interesting
right.
thought.
Yeah.
I would maybe lean the under there. Lean the under, just because of how many questions I have about both of those offenses.
What if, that number is 41.5, and it'll change if this happens, but if the Titans grab D-Hop, would you lean more over?
I don't know. I really don't. Because I don't know how DeAndre Hopkins would be an upgrade, period. DeAndre Hopkins makes your team better. But how much better?
Yeah.
How many more points do you put up a game because you have D-Hop? I would say more.
How many more wins?
Like I said to Derek, I think that you add D-Hop, that's probably 2 to 3 more wins on your schedule.
I would agree with that.
He did not like that very much. But I do think that that's the truth. I mean, you look at how many close games the Titans played this past season. I mean, the Bengals, it came down to 4 points. Chargers came down to a field goal.
Yeah.
Giants, it came down to a field goal. There were so many close games, and that's 1, 2, 3 right there, that if you have D-Hop that you're targeting instead of whoever else, whoever what other jabronis you had on that team last year, that could be the difference.
615-737-1025. Adam in Portland wants to weigh in on things. Adam, what's up?
I miss the word jabroni being said more frequently.
I know. The Rock
It's a
needs
good
to bring
one.
that back.
It is a good one.
Yeah, hey, good job last night, Chase. Crushing it on TV, bro.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Adam called in. I was on News Channel 5 Plus with JB, with John Burton.
Awesome.
So Adam called in. Appreciate it.
Dude, I always give you guys support. I promise I have more things going on in my life just besides you guys, but I do this while I work, and I listen to you guys on News Channel 5 whenever I'm just chilling out in the shop at night. But I thought you did good, man. One thing y'all aren't addressing is this is not a two-team division, in my opinion, either, man. I know we talked a little bit about Vrabel last night, but if you think about it, like, I'm not saying the Colts or the Texans are going to win the division, but I don't think – I feel like the Colts, and I hate them, but I feel like they were like kind of competitive without a head coach and without a quarterback last year. Also, the Texans are like sneaky competitive every game. So not only do I think the Jags are like phony baloney, they're not going to win two divisions in a row. They've never done it. You got to show me you could do something before I believe you'll ever be able to do it again. I think it's not necessarily a two-team race either. Like, I wish I could say the Titans are going to win the division, but I wouldn't be surprised if we split with any of those teams.
Got to run on that, Adam, but thanks. I appreciate it. I like Shane Steichen as the hire for Indy.
I need to see a little bit more from Shane Steichen. Everybody is saying that Shane Steichen is like a quarterback guru, and okay, they probably know a whole lot more than I do, but just throughout all of Shane Steichen's stops, it's not like I've seen something that I'm like, oh my goodness, that is, that he's got the golden touch. When he was with the Chargers, he only was with Justin Herbert for a year. And then we saw Jalen Hurts really blossom into what he was this season. But was that because of Shane Steichen, or was that because of the moves that they made in the passing game? Was that because the Eagles had the best offensive line in the league? Maybe it's a little bit of everything. I do believe that this is a two-team division.
Well,
I really do.
If you ask Jared, Anthony Richardson's going to win 3 MVPs. And
Peyton Manning,
he's Peyton Manning,
Andrew Luck, Anthony Richardson. I just hope they don't ruin Anthony Richardson.
I hope they don't either. But Jared, man crush on Anthony Richardson. Hey, on the way out, caller number 5 will win a pair of tickets to the NHL Awards, Bridgestone Arena, Monday, June 26th, 615-736.